Hey guys, welcome to Chasing Collectibles. I'm Tyler,
I'm Tim.
and we have a very exciting show for you today. One of the most important things in comics is grading. Knowing what condition your book is in. There's the grading scale of really from 0.5 to 9.8, technically 10, but those really don't ever happen. And you can get your books graded. You can send them off to an objective company like CGC, and they can tell you how much your book, what the grade is. We're in my room, so you're going to see a lot of Batman stuff today. So this is my Batman 251. I bought it graded, so I knew when I saw it, I said, okay, that's a 7.5. It made sense what the price was, which is a price that we don't tell my significant other. And that's an early rule you learn in comics.
That's right. You learned well.
Yes. But what if this book was raw? And by raw, you mean it hasn't been graded. Well, you need to learn how to look at a book and say, all right, it's generally, in this range. Now, one thing you can do is you can get this cool book, The Overstreet Guide to Grading Comics. It's pretty good. It's, really, it'll show you every single grade possible. It's a really neat book. I got this when I first started working for Nickel Spot. But what's even better is to learn from somebody that actually knows what they're doing. Because this is kind of like book smarts, but we got to get to street smarts. So we have with us today Mr. Lauren Bates.
Nice to be with you.
Lauren and Tim and I all work together at Nickel Spot Comics, and Tim still does comic stuff. He has Purple Spider Comics, and we'll include the link to his eBay page. Yeah. So how are you doing today, Lauren?
Doing well.
Are you-
Actually, myself that has Purple Spider Comics. Tim has his own massive, awesome collection of books and toys. But I'm here to talk about a little bit in the grading world. It's a lot of it is subjective, a lot of it is hopeful. So we'll start off with how to actually take a book out before you actually inspect it. So we see that the tape has no dog ear. So basically you'll just take the book. It's best to do it on a flat surface. You take the tape off, sometimes it'll tear like that, but you want to stick it on the opposite end like that. So when you pull out the book, there's absolutely no way that you are going to encounter a tape pull. So from that point, you just take the book. I like to start at a 10 point, 10 being the highest and 0.5 being the lowest. So I start at 10 and I start at the top corner. Now you need excellent lighting. So what I do is I look for any sort of imperfection, and any sort of imperfection that I see, say a little tick on the spine or a tick on the top, I will usually, it counts as a 1 point. So there's a tick right there. That would be, now I'm at 10, so now I'm at 9.9, 9.8, and you use the glare to help you find it. So I'm at a 9.8, a little thing down there, so you're 9.7. Then you look through, it's got some waves in it, so I would go 9.6 at that point. So we're at about a 9.6 so far. To be super thorough, you obviously want to go to the back side. It's got some waviness on the back. All those waves can be taken out with a press, but that's going to cost you a little bit extra money. So we're looking at some waviness here, so I'd go 9.4 on that. And then to be super thorough, especially with older books and a lot of the rougher looking books, you want to go through each page, and you do that on a flat surface. So basically you just take the book, put it on the flat surface, great lighting, open up every page gently and go through. Make sure there's no cutout panels, no cutout coupons. Make sure there's no pages missing. You can get real super about it, super controlled. But something like this, your modern books and most of your books are going to be all together because there's really no reason to cut anything out. So something like this, I would look at it quickly and just go, oh, that's a 9.4, and just be conservative with it. You don't want to overdo it with a 9.6, because then if somebody gets this and they're like, well, I see all these ticks here, they're gonna be upset. So I would call that a 9.4. If you go into an older book, well, let me show you how to put the book back into the into the bag and board. Usually what you do is you take the board and then the comic, you place it on there, and it takes a while. You sort of squeeze it like that and it'll pop open. And just put it in like so. Try not to touch the book. Now it's in, you got your tape, or you can use a new piece of tape, and there you go.
And that really makes a difference when you're dealing with like an older book. Like you're being kind of, that's the new book, taking it out like that, you don't have to be most careful, but like if you're dealing with something like that, or, when you deal like, especially like golden age, silver age,
Yeah, you're
little-
going to be a
tiniest thing
little
that
bit
could
more
happen.
careful. And also, if you know it's sort of a common book and it's older and it's beat up, like this one is a little bit on the rough edge, you do want to be kind with it, but it's not like if any mishap happens, it's going to ruin it, because unless you drop it and the book detaches with the cover. So something like this, you can see it's pretty rough. It's got a big crease across here. There's some color breaks with creases there. You can see in the glare. You might not be able to see it with the video, but it's got, a folded over corner, which they call a crease. A lot of times you'll want to just try to fold that back over. It makes it more presentable. Both sides, it's got writing on the back, a 30-cent price. You got another dog ear down here that you just have to undo, so when you put it back in. So there's all kinds of things wrong with this book, and there's all things great about this book. The best way to look at it, if you're looking at it, is I always open up the first page. That way you're not continually pressing on the corner edge here. Go through one page at a time, or you lay it down flat on a surface. The pages are a little bit yellow, so this book I would probably call, and I'm not going to go through the 10-point grading system because it's so far down the line that you would just take forever to do it. So you sort of just glance at it, look it over. I would probably call that a 3.5 to a 4 in that condition. So that's another Batman book, Silver Age book. Now this one, that's a key. And why don't you tell us what the significance of this book
that is the first Ra's al Ghul.
You see, I wouldn't know that because I'm not a Batman aficionado.
Maybe I can convert you one day. Get away from Spider-Man.
But it's easy enough to look up. I'm going to ignore that comment. And so, something like this, you probably want to sit down with.
I appreciate that.
Have a nice surface to do your business. I usually grab it by the. You can squeeze that so you pull the whole thing out, like so. And then you do your initial look at it. You go like this. I usually go like this, real quick, flip it over. Sort of mental note on the back side. So it's got some what they call dust shadow, and they also have some. It's not dirt, spotting of sorts. So something like this, without opening it up, I don't really want to go into all that. You know what to do. Something like that. It's got, some. Looks like some rub on the staple there. Looks like part of the paper might be gone on it. This one I'd probably put in the 6.0 range, I would think. Something like that. And now, like I said, it's subjective. So when putting it back, take the whole book, gently stick it in there, grab the, boom, all done.
So how long do you think it took you to really feel confident about grading books?
It takes a while. It does take quite a while. When I was doing it, my friend Nick from Nickel Spot Comics was very helpful. He would say, "What do you think this is?" And I would tell him. He would say, "Yeah, maybe a point or two off." I would say a 4.5. He would say it's more like a 5, or maybe a 3.30. because there might have been something that I missed. And I mean, it takes years. I mean, there's nobody that's going to be perfect. Even CGC, CBCS, they have multiple amounts of people that each person will go through, assess their grade, and then they'll come up with a consensus at the end what their notes are together, and they'll come up with that grade.
So one thing we talked about before we started shooting was kind of like the excitement of you look at a book that you own, you're like, I think that's maybe, I don't know, an 8.5, and then you set it off and you're hoping, is it that or higher? Have you ever had like kind of a cool experience like that where someone was a surprise or?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I purchased a book from you, Amazing Spider-Man #4, First Silk.
I think, yeah.
And I held on to it for quite a while, stuck it in my personal collection, and then I decided, well, I got another one, so I said, let me see what this would come back as. So I sent your book in, it came back at 9.8.
Wow.
That's what I thought. I wouldn't have sent it in unless I thought this is a good candidate. So it came back 9.8, so that's now in my personal collection.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Tim, you have anything you want to add or?
No, you seem to really know your stuff here with grading, and I appreciate you showing us.
Oh yeah, it's always fun to be around friends and fellow collectible chasers,
And I think at some point we're actually going to visit Lauren's room, because you've got from what I have here and seen, you've got a very impressive collection of Spidey stuff.
Oh yeah. It's a full bedroom, wall to wall, ceiling to floor Spider-Man.
I know that's probably more Batman than you've ever cared to see. So we'll make sure we get a healthy dose of Spider-Man.
Sure.
There at some point
yeah,
soon.
you guys are welcome to come over anytime and hang out.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's all we have. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Learn a thing or two about grading, and we will see you next time. And I hope you have the best of luck in chasing collectibles.
Later.